Good morning, everyone. All right, it is time to move on with this Katz-Moses sign. So where we left off on the last video, I was putting using the spiral upcut, the 1/8 inch going around all of the carving. Now I have gone around all of the carving with the 1/4 inch spiral upcut, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flatten this whole thing out to the about 1/4 of an inch. Actually, it's set for a little over 1/4 of an inch. The reason I'm going to do that is I'm going to do a lot of power carving on here, but it would be it goes much faster if I go ahead and take all of this stuff out down to 1/4 of an inch with the spiral upcut. Then I can go power carving beyond that. Anyway, that's the idea. I think I did that on the Triple L sign, and it worked out really well. Saved a lot of time. So here we go. Okay, like I may have mentioned before, this elm is super hard. So you're going to find that if you're doing something like this, going cross grain, you saw when I was doing this area here, it was wanting to grab and run and grab and run. I really had to hang on, which you do. But if you go cross grain and take that stuff out going cross grain, it much easier to control. So this is going to be time consuming. I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of it off camera. Then when we come back, we'll get into the power carving. All right, guys. Well, guess what? We have a completely change of plans. My plan was, I've got this all flat, so everything is down 1/4 of an inch or thereabouts. There's a little bit of unevenness in there, but I'm not worried about that because I was going to power carve that. But here's the deal. Remember how I said this stuff was really hard? I did some testing, and no matter what I did, whether I used the angle grinder, or excuse me, the die grinder, whether I used the Fordham, whether I used coarse, or this is actually medium, a coarse or fine, or whatever I used, no matter what I used, it always burnt. And that's just because this elm is so hard that no matter what I did, and you know, you can see I tested some router bits in here, and anytime I went slow, it was burning. So I'm not going to power carve this thing, guys. I'm going to use a router. This is my normal dimple background where I just literally pick it up and put it down, pick it up and put it down. You can see that even at that, it kind of burns a little bit. What I've decided to do, because the router is moving constantly, I'm just making small circles, doing a bigger, circles, doing a bigger version of what this is. So this is what I'm going to do, and by doing that, keeping that router moving, I think it's going to eliminate most of the burning. The other bit of a conundrum is the fact that I'm already 1/4 of an inch deep. I want to go deeper than that. I had planned to with the power carving, which means I've got the bit sticking out a 1/2 inch out of my router. Anytime you're doing this, guys, you got to be careful. Now, some of you may say that I've got it sticking too far out of the collet, but that's not true because there's a mark on that collet, and I am just barely past that mark. So there's still plenty of router bit in that collet, and we'll kind of see how it goes. The one thing I forgot to mention, guys, because the flute on this 90-degree bit is only really about 1/4 of an inch, I don't have to worry too much about nicking the edge of these letters. Actual bit doesn't have any flute up here, and that is actually just riding along the edge of the wood, so I don't really have to worry about that gouging my letters too much. I still have to be careful, but so that's my plan. I'm going to go around all of the outset stuff with this, and then I'm going to take out all of the background with my 90-degree, and again, it doesn't look that much different than my standard background, but that's okay. I think it's going to look really cool with a gloss finish on it. But I'll do all the carving, the rest of the carving off camera. When we come back, we'll be sanding and finishing. All right, folks, I got all the carving done. I am ready to put an edge on this thing. What I've decided to do is go with a deep bevel or deep chamfer, a big Porter cable router. As you guys can see, you're not the only one that drops your routers, but fortunately this just chipped out here and it's still plenty functional, so I don't have to replace it. Anyway, I've got it set really deep, and I think it's going to look pretty good on here. So let's get this this bevel done. Yeah, I like that. I think that's going to be nice. Now what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to spray this black. This is going to be wood color, but I'm going to spray the bevel and the sides black, so it'll give it a nice black frame all the way around. I'm going to go ahead and do that. When we come back, we'll be sand off the surface of this thing, and then get a finish on it. So we've already sanded off the back. It's all done. Now we just have to sand off the surface. I went ahead and did black all the way around the edge and the sides, and now we're just going to, this is all going to be painted, but this is going to be natural color. So I'm using an 80 grit with my disc sander, then I'm going to go back with a 120 and my random orbital. Here we go. Alright guys, you can see what I'm doing here. I'm going to go ahead and finish this thing up off camera, and then we'll come right back. Hey guys, alright, I've already put one coat of finish on this. Really happy with the way the clear brought the grain out, and I think the more coats I put on here, the better. So what I'm using for finish is just the Rust-Oleum clear lacquer on there, and this is going to be an interior sign. Super happy with the way it's coming out so far. So let's just put one more coat on the front. I put out 2 coats on the back. I've got 1 coat on the front. Now I'm going to put a second coat. So the way I do it normally is I do the back first and then lay it on its back and do the edges and then the surface. So I'll probably put another 1 or 2 coats on here, and then what I'll do is I'll just hand sand it with a piece of 120 or 220 just to smooth it down, because anytime you put a finish or any kind of liquid on these things, it makes the grain stand up. Anyway, happy with it so far. So I'm going to probably end up putting at least 5 or 6 coats on, maybe more. And then from that point, then the next scene, we'll get to painting, and we'll get all of this outset stuff, we'll get it all painted.
All right, guys. Well, Dad did all the carving, so it's my turn to do the painting. You know, I gotta say, it's not as bad as it used to be. The roller makes it a little bit better, and it's not, I don't dread it quite like I used to. So we're gonna do, all the wording is gonna be black, right? And then the eyes of the cat here are gonna be black, the KM, and then the little hyphens are gonna be maroon. Huh?
Those are long hyphens.
Yeah, long hyphens. So let's get to it. Alright, so we got the black done, cleaned up all the drips and stuff, but I think it looks pretty good. I think we're good to go. So for the maroon, we mixed up red and brown, and I think we got it really, really close. Alright guys, it is done. The Katz-Moses sign is complete, and man, we are pretty happy with it. I say we, I put about half an hour's worth of work into this thing. Dad did the rest, but my gosh, I really, really like how Dad did the, what is this? This is almost half an inch, right?
Yeah, it's a little over half inch.
Yeah, it's a half an inch depth. And even though it didn't work out the way he'd originally planned, doing the power carving and everything, I actually really like this. I think this thing looks sweet. So what we did do is we had to switch out the color. So you guys saw me paint this thing, and we mixed up a color, and it just wasn't good enough, flat out. It wasn't good enough. So we went down to Sherwin-Williams here in Bullhead City, and by the way, shout out to these guys. They were super, super helpful. This was not an easy color to find, and they spent a lot of time with us and really helped us out and got us as close as we possibly could. So we repainted it, and we're pretty stoked with it. We're heading down on Monday to go actually hand this to him, which is, I think, one of the first times that we've been able to hand a YouTuber and an influencer one of the signs that we've done for him. So we're pretty stoked about that. But anyway, guys, we hope you like it. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to email me, Ryan@makeawoodsign.com, or Dad, Eric@makeawoodsign.com. If you're looking for supplies, all the stuff we used on this thing, all our router bits, the router bait places, everything is right here. And this, just click this little link right here. So, thanks again, guys. We'll see you on the next one.
Hey guys, we're here with Johnathan Katz-Moses. Just made this sign for him. Got a chance to meet him and deliver it. Get a kind of a shop tour of the whole place. Johnathan, thanks so much, man.
Thank you. This thing is absolutely incredible. I cannot, when you told me about this idea, I couldn't even picture what was going to come. And this is like so robust and beautiful. And I mean, I think you captured the essence of our logo really well. It's absolutely gorgeous. I can't believe how nice this came out. And this thing's a beast. I mean, this is a murder weapon for sure if you wanted it to be. And I can't wait. This is going to be hanging up in the entry of our new shop here. The mess you see behind you, we just moved in 2 days ago. So this is a great first edition for the decorating here. I really appreciate it, Eric.
Well, it's an honor, man. It's an honor to know this is going to be hanging in your place. That's cool. That's
awesome,
cool.
man. Well,
cool.
Thank you so much. It's absolutely beautiful. I really, really appreciate it. It's going to be hung with love. So
love it.
Awesome.
So we'll thanks, guys. We appreciate it. Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, click that little bell icon. And thanks again. We love you. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.